In this segment, we're talking about the pensions of the past won't work in the retirement of the future. We're going to address the pensions of yesterday, the retirement plans of tomorrow, and today's sequence of returns, all in Tom's book, Paychecks and Playchecks. Well, welcome to the show, Tom.
Thanks, Steve. Great to be here.
Tom, you were a major producer. I didn't know that you were going to be an author. What inspired you to write this book, which now has sold over $1 million worth of copies, which I think is what, 1% of all books sold?
Something like that, yeah. So I was a reluctant author. I never wanted to write a book. I didn't dream of writing a book, so why'd I write a book? Well, here's why. Because right now, if your clients were to talk to 50 different financial professionals and ask this very simple question, how should I retire? You know what they're going to get? They're going to get 50 different opinions of what they ought to do. Well, you know what? Retirement's been studied in depth by PhDs all over the world. People like Dr. David Babel of Wharton, Dr. Moshe Malevsky of Toronto, Dr. Menachem Yari of Israel. Most recently, Dr. Robert C. Merton, a Nobel Prize winner who was just published in the Harvard Business Review. And as an aside, I'd say you should Google Robert C. Merton and Harvard Business Review and review that article. But I've read their research, and you know what their research says? There are not 50 optimal ways to retire. There's really one optimal way to retire, and that's not my opinion. It's based on math and science, not based on somebody's opinion.
Well, let's walk through some of the basic ideas of what's in the book as an introduction, and then I want to get to sequence of returns because that's going to be a major controversial area for most advisors.
Yeah, so let me tell you why I decided to write the book. The day I decided to write the book was April 4th of 2011. At the time, I was a senior executive officer for a Fortune 100 company. I woke up on April 4th, 2011, read the Wall Street Journal, when the headline read, Fed's low interest rates crack retirees' nest eggs. And this article was all about how these low interest rates are causing all kinds of problems for retirees. And they focused on a guy by the name of Forrest Yeager, 91 years of age, down in Port Charlotte, Florida, down to his last $45,000. He had it sitting in a CD earning less than 1%. It was sending about $300 a year. And he says, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to run out of money. And I'm reading this, I want to think, Forrest, you're 91 years of age. Did you know a 91-year-old can walk in almost any insurance company in America and buy a SPIA, a lifetime income annuity? Do you know what the guaranteed payout rate today on a 91-year-old is? 20% a year. His $45,000 would have guaranteed him $9,000 every year. He would have never run out of money. There were other people in this article in their 70s and 80s. They had their money sitting in high-yield bonds and stocks. They completely lost their peace of mind. So I said, I got to write a book. And the first chapter is very simply titled, Whatever Happened to Happily Ever After? Because just like you were saying, retirement used to be a promise. You'd work for a company for 30 years. Then what? They'd hold a party, they'd present you with a gold watch, and they'd give you a guaranteed paycheck every single month for the rest of your life in the form of a pension. Well, guess what? Less than 19% of Americans have a pension, and 16 of the 19 are government workers, so it's very unlikely that most of your clients will have a pension. You add to that people are living longer. There's 78 million baby boomers heading into retirement. They need pensions more than ever. They don't have it, and they're living longer. The average 65-year-old male will live to be age 86. The average 65-year-old female will live to be age 89. Now, I said this book is based on mathematical, scientific, and economic facts. Here's my first fact of the morning. Married people live longer than single people. Now, I have no idea why, but it's a fact. So if you look here, the man's life expectancy is 86. The woman's life expectancy is 89. But as a couple, their life expectancy is 93. And Steve, that's just when half the people die. The other half the people live longer than that. So people are living longer and longer, and they don't have those guaranteed paychecks for life.